All right, guys, welcome to the Level Up Project. This is episode number 3, and I'm here with somebody extremely special. His name is Chad Morton. Told me not to say it. I'm going to say it anyway. He's the CEO of Maverick Realty, and more recently is the founder and CEO of Smash Entertainment, a wonderful spot where he produces, directs, and writes movies. So
Everything's
yeah.
correct except
Except
one
which
thing.
one? Which one is it?
My wife, Darlene, is the CEO of Smash Entertainment. If she heard that, she'd be...
I mean, she's gonna watch this later. So
I work for her, so hey,
Yeah.
shout out to my wife, Darlene.
That's a good one. So today we're gonna break into 2 sections. One for aspiring filmmakers, people that are writing, people that want to get into producing, but it's an idea, it's an inception. You see things, and you're in the creative side, and you want to know how to get to there. And then we're going to be speaking to the second line of people, which is the people that maybe are already producing or are already writing for somebody, somebody else or for themselves, or have been or are in a director role, and they're kind of inching their way across. They're putting out content, they're putting things out, but they, still lacking something to get them to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the man, the myth, the legend right here about to talk to us about, how to do both of those things.
Okay. So where would you like to start with regards to filmmakers, people looking to get into the business, people who have an idea and then they don't know how to get that idea on camera? We could start with them. I wouldn't mind that at all. And I'm talking to you out there. So let's start with, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then we'll go into how that translates to helping
definitely
others. So I've always wanted to be in the film business. I just shared a story off camera about how I got into the business, how I got into making films specifically. I met with a gentleman, was a sports agent, big time agent, and he had some investors who were going to back a project. And we had many discussions, and we talked about backing this sports themed project and putting it out there. And I was real excited. And after our 5th meeting, the gentleman said, "I think it's going to be a go. I will call you tomorrow." And I was like, yes. And then tomorrow came and no call. Next day, no call. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, no call. 7 days. It is Saturday night. I'm in bed with my wife. Get a call at 11 o'clock. Pick up the phone. It's him. And I'm like, yes. My wife's like, "Who's calling you so late?" "Don't worry about it." I said, "Hello, I've been waiting, man. I'm ready. Let's go."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm sorry to tell you, it's going to be a no."
Wow.
I'm like, "No, what do you mean?" I said, "We just done all this." He said, "The guys I talked to said if you really wanted to do this project, you'd get the money yourself. But I respect you. I wanted to make that call." So I hung up the phone and I just started pacing. And my wife's like, come to bed. What are you doing?" And I was like, "I can't sleep." I said, "I'm never going to be in this position again. Never." Ended up what could have been like the worst moment or when somebody's going to quit. Not only did it super motivate me, but the project that I wanted to make was made by ESPN. It was already in the works. I didn't know that. Covering the exact same topics. So had I made my project, which I intended to sell to ESPN at that time, I wouldn't have had an outlet for it. Right. And I would have had investor money that would have gone to waste. The best thing, the biggest favor he gave me was by telling me no. No changed everything, because that no made me select another project. It just fell into my lap. And I started writing the project, and I said, I'm going to make the money, started putting money away to produce the project. And as we spoke off camera, we talked about how the passion that you have attracts other people. People were attracted by the passion and the energy you had. And through that, I met a fantastic producer in Rachel Frazier. And she introduced me to an incredible director. Scott Hamilton, and we went to work and we put together for a first feature film an incredible project that won over 30 awards, including Best Actor, Best Director, Best Feature Film, 25 city tour, ended up at Sundance, and now it's on Amazon. So What Death Leaves Behind, you can catch that on Amazon. Hope you get a chance to view it. And that led to our second film, and we just keep going from there. But as we said off camera, your passion and your energy and your excitement is contagious. And people, when they get around you, if they can feel it, then they want to be a part of it. And that's where your assistance comes. And that's when you get to meet so many other great people who are also in the business.
And I want to get back to that no. It really struck me hard because that could have been no. And you could have been like, movies are not for me.
Yeah.
This is, if this guy that's at this level says this, then maybe I should be going through another path. But it seems like you did your research, you looked into it, and you said, this means I have to pivot. This is an opportunity. Where did you harness the power, the energy, the mindset? How did you come up with that mindset to pivot in the face of adversity?
That's a good question. And I'd like to take credit for saying, hey, I knew that you don't stop at one no. I didn't know any of that.
Right.
I was just so frustrated by the fact that I really thought I had a sure thing, and it ended up I didn't have nothing. And I didn't have nothing because I wasn't in control. And so what struck me the most was, if I'm going to do this project or any project that I'm this passionate about, I have to be in control. That means I have to be the decision maker. And that's where it comes down to for a lot of first-time filmmakers who are waiting for somebody to swoop in with a bag of money and say, I love your idea. Here you go.
Right.
Make it with whatever budget. And it does not work that way. And we talked about it, again, off camera. It's a simple path, but it's not easy. That is when you put one foot in front of the other and you start working towards your goal. Get a budget together, surround yourself with great people, and make it happen, because no one's going to do it for you. The people who are going to float in are going to come after the project is done,
right,
and say, hey, this is wonderful. I like what I'm seeing. Can you do more of this, with this budget? And that's what we're experiencing. But when you're starting, you have to go and you have to believe in yourself. And in a lot of ways, that's exactly what he said. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because he said, my investors said, if you really wanted to do this, you'd get the money yourself. And truer words have never been spoken. And that's what we did.
Definitely. That hits. I mean, he had a point.
He did. And again, it was the greatest no ever. What I thought at the time, don't get me wrong, for a few moments, I was really feeling low, but I began to turn that around just through being pissed off, and just saying, you know what, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get in this business. No one's gonna open the door for me and just say, hey, welcome to Hollywood, or welcome to show business. You have to do it.
And so movies and producing, that's a whole new world for me. How does somebody, like, from now, let's say where you are now, what's the next level and what's the plan to get to the next level?
Well, it's an interesting question, because, like, what is the next level?
Right.
If you look at a guy like a person I admire a lot, like a Damon Dash, like Dame Dash has been doing this, since he was 21 years old, out making projects, making films, doing it himself. Ice Cube, another great inspiration as he makes his own films and his own project. So what is success? Is it $100 million budget? No, but you keep creative control. You're able to make the film that you want to make, because we're in a new Hollywood. Hollywood's not going to discover that great director who and then just groom them up like in the days of Lucas and Spielberg, and just bring them to the forefront, and they can make these spectacular films on these giant budgets. It's not going to work like that. So you start at your own pace. You start working on your own films, maintain creative control. So for me at Smash Entertainment, we want to maintain creative control. We've got a dozen projects. Some are out already, some we've completed, including The Realtor, our most recent feature film, with plenty more to come. We've got some big budget films that I'll have to increase or get some investors for to make. But all of them can be successful in their own right. So success is determined by the individual. If you rate success by the amount of money that you make, well, then it's simple. You know, how much did you make in your last film, et cetera, et cetera. But if you rate your success by your ability to create the art that inspires you and that you want to share, then success can be valued in many other ways.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
So two key themes that I'm saying for aspiring producers is that no means pivot, look at it, analyze it, research it, and then make a change and just go full force. And then the second one for people that are kind of in your place is maintain creative control.
You know, I'm going to tell you an old adage that I'm going to give props to one of my mentors, John Mudd, who's still alive, 92 years old. Hopefully I get to show him this. He'll never find this on his own, but I'll show it to him. John is a master salesman, and he taught me when I first met him, he said, if someone says no, that just means you didn't explain it right. So he always put the onus back on me. So there's never a no. All right. A no is never final, I should say. You'll get no's, but a no is never final. All a no means, it just gives you an opportunity to present your case better the next time.
Right.
And trust me, the people who told you no earlier, once you get success, they'll be there for you the second time because they'll see that you've done it. But in order to get to those yeses, sometimes you got to be the person to give yourself the yes.
Right.
When everybody said no to me, I gave myself the yes. And when you give yourself a yes, you're not going to tell yourself no. Then you just got to follow up with the work. And that's the one thing that, again, we talk about it off camera. I'm tired of saying that. But we talk so much off camera.
Are there secrets? Are there things that you said off camera that you can't say?
No, not really. Not really. It's just that, the work is the key. The work is the key. Easy is not an option. Easy is never an option for something that's worth it. Everything that's hard isn't worth it. But for certain, everything that's worth it is going to be hard. So you have to decide, is this for me? Do I really want to do this? Everybody has a movie idea. When you're out and the cameras are going and we're at Sundance and there's all these cameras and, everybody's in a tux and looking beautiful. And so many people come up and say, hey, I got a great idea. Oh, what about this? Okay, what are you going to do about that idea? And people, this was my first film and people are coming to me and running up and thinking, man, I could just give it to this guy. No, give it to yourself. You have to get started. Write a script. If you don't know how to write a script, take a class. Can't take one at a school, take one online.
Right.
Learn, practice. There is no, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
That just doesn't work. The work has to be prioritized. And if you put in the work, you can do it. Wow.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. If you put in the work, you can do it. You mentioned Sundance a lot. I am quite familiar with it, but for the people at home that have no clue what you're talking about, that hear it and think, "Oh, Coachella."
No, it's just a very prestigious film festival. And actually, our producer Rachel Frazier was able to get us in there. She also got us our deal where we were able to go through 25 cities with our first film, and it's just a very prestigious American film festival. There's the Cannes Film Festival over in France. And there's Tribeca Film Festival up in New York. And the festival circuit is a way, if someone's a new filmmaker, to get a buzz about them and to get out there. And I'm glad you asked that question because it leads to the festival circuit. Because a lot of people may be thinking, well, yeah, you're saying make a film and then what? Well, once you make a complete film, start to submit it in festivals. You could start locally. And then you could also submit nationally or internationally if you can travel. Start to submit your project, whether it's a short or a feature to festivals across the nation and the world. See who comes back at you. Even if you don't win, you get the opportunity to mingle with other filmmakers,
Right.
see the winners, see how your film compares to theirs, meet other judges. You've got to meet with and mingle with other people that are in the business, because film is it's a very insular business. You could go outside and meet other real estate agents,
Right.
but it's very rare you're going to meet, hey, I'm a writer or I'm a director. But when you go to the festivals, everybody is within arm's reach of what you do. And everybody's important. You need crew. You need directors. You need camera people. You need sound people. You need editors. So that's where you find them.
Awesome. Wow. Sounds fun. I want to go.
It's a lot of fun.
Is it open
but
to the public?
Oh, yeah. Festivals are open to everybody. The public are the ones who come to view it.
Okay.
Because all the films are typically screened. It'll be at a set where there's a bunch of theaters, several theaters, and the films are screened, and then they have Q&A where you as the director or the writer can talk about your film, and the audience may have questions for people who love films and love movies.
Right.
The film festival is the way to go.
That sounds awesome. I always thought it was a place. It's in Utah, right?
Well, Sundance, yes.
Yeah, I thought it was in Utah
Park
where
City.
Celebrities go,
They
people
do.
making movies go, and a bunch of investors go. And it's like the Shark Tank of movies. That's how I always envisioned it.
kind of. But there's a lot of, everybody who goes doesn't have like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in their film.
Right.
It could be where you break out.
Nice.
It could be where you go from a unknown to a known. And again, this isn't everyone's experience, but the opportunity to be there and to mingle and introduce yourself, it's unparalleled. So, and not just Sundance, but all of the festivals, whether it's Tribeca, there's a local festival here in the district. The World Music and Independent Film Festival was here in the district.
Wow.
So there's plenty of opportunities to get out there. If you Google film festivals and you have a project and say you live in Kansas, I promise you there are film festivals in Kansas. So if you don't want to travel or can't travel long distances, then there's opportunities for you there. You can even once you submit your film online, you don't necessarily have to attend, although you're encouraged. And you can win your awards that way. But the business requires effort. The business requires work. It requires dedication. But if you have those things, you can get the results that you want.
Nice. No, I love it. So work hard, dedicate yourself.
Yeah.
Sell.
Did I mention talent? You're gonna need.
That's the one thing
it's got to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you learn and how do you get better?
Right.
By practice with anything. I mean, our first film was a short film.
Really?
And then if you look at it now and you look at where we're at, if people looked at our short film on YouTube and look at our film now, they're like, oh my God. But you got to look at it like this. Totally. But let's look at, if you follow Walt Disney, and his story is incredible in terms of his entrepreneurship and his business acumen. But when you look at the first drawings of Mickey Mouse and you look at Steamboat Willie, and it's just black and white, look like pencil sketch, to the way they've got it now. Everybody has a journey, and where you're going to finish is not where you're going to start. So the project doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. And I think a lot of people get caught up with wanting it to be perfect and wanting it to be excellent. You just have to go. Now, this is your third podcast. By the time you do your 100th podcast, you may have the spectacular studio overlooking the Potomac.
That would be beautiful.
But the point is, you have to start somewhere. And you're not waiting until you get over the Potomac before you do podcast number 1. It's a journey. Enjoy the process, learn from the process, and grow from the process and become better every day. Kobe Bryant said that, just become better every single day.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'd love for you to break into a topic that we talked about off camera, about your friend and life and giving it all in life, because we don't know when that time will come.
Right. So our next film, as of yet unnamed, comes up, deals with that, and about, just our journey on this earth that we have. We don't know when our expiration date is. And our second feature film, titled The Realtor, coming soon. I had featured a friend of mine in name who, when we started to write the film, I was sitting down and I told him, I just need to put down the name of a character who's going to be the best friend of the main character. And we used this gentleman's name. And he and I were really close. He was also a real estate agent of mine and just a great friend. Like, he was everybody's best friend.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to describe him. He was everybody's best friend. Everybody considered him their best friend. And I'll never forget, we were going to see Dave Chappelle. We were going to fly down to Hollywood, Florida, where he's performing just 3 shows. And he just said he wasn't feeling well. And I said, okay, well, I'll see you when I get back. And, when we get back from Florida, he's in the hospital. And I'm thinking, maybe it was just something minor. And, I saw him 2 weeks later when he was discharged, and he was extremely, extremely, obviously very, very ill. Mm-hmm. As a cancer had just came and just ravaged him. And we talked about all the goals that we had that before, we knew, this was what was going to happen. And he had made the comment to me that I'm going to get better and we're going to do all of these things. We're going to do them. And I said, that's exactly what we're going to do. And he passed 2 days later. Wow. 2 days after that. And I thought about it because I'm 10 years older than him. And as I said to you off camera, saying now on camera to you in the audience, is that, I got 10 years more than him and I did nothing to earn it. I wasn't a better father. I wasn't a better husband. I wasn't a better parent. I wasn't better in any respect. It just, the way life shook out, I was given more time that he wasn't given, that he deserved, that, he didn't get. And so that's always in the back of my mind, although it's a sad thought because, I really loved him as my brother. But it's always in the back of my mind. And people really take time for granted, especially young people. And I did, guilty as charged. When you're young, you take time for granted. And I was reading a book by Napoleon Hill years ago when I was still young, still in my 20s. And I'll never forget, he wrote in his book as he was maybe 70, he said, now that I'm older, he said, I measure time not in the hours, but in the minutes. And I wondered, I said, man, I'm never going to get like that. Yeah. I'm like that.
Really?
Because you don't know what you have.
Right.
And at any instant, at any moment, it can be taken away. People always put off to tomorrow and they're like, well, I'll sleep on it and I'll do this. If you've got a goal, if you've got a dream, you better get started right now, because tomorrow, not only is it not promised, but the rest of today isn't. So while we're here in this plane of existence, wherever we go, that's for you to decide or believe. But while you're here, make it worth it and do something where you believe you made a difference or where you feel this was my calling. And if you're called to do it, then answer the call. And don't waste time, because you never know how much of it you have left.
Man, I love the energy. That's what I wanted you to share, actually. So
yeah, it's to all of us who know him, he was a big part of all of our lives. He was involved in every project that I've been in, and man, I miss that guy dearly. But one thing about it is that hug he gave me when I left, and he said, man, we're going to do all these things. We still doing them.
Right.
Because I'm doing it, but he's there with me. So we doing it together.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hope it helps somebody out there.
Yeah, definitely. And just make it happen.
Make it happen. And if I could say one thing to younger viewers, and when I say young, man, anybody under 30, in their 30s, under 30, you measure time differently when you're young. And Shakespeare said it best when he said, youth is wasted on the young. And I don't want to pile on young people, but in many ways, you can't even realize how accurate that is until you get older and you start to think back. And what I would like to do, if I can reach you or anybody there, is that don't think back and say, I wished I would have, or I could have did that. Make the right decision and the wise decision to do it now. When I was a teenager, I used to work in the summers in like a convalescent home for the elderly. And sometimes I'd stop and just talk to them and say, what would you do different just to make conversation? And you'd be amazed at the stories that you'd hear from so many people. Oh, if I could go back, I would have did this. Oh, if I could go back, I would have did that. And I always said, even then, I was 18 years old. I said, man, I don't ever want to be the guy who somebody asks me that question and the answer isn't, I've done it. If the answer isn't, I've done it, then get started. Because if you could see, you want to talk about my passion, in a convalescent home, really, as sad as it is to say, people are just waiting to die. And when you engage in a conversation and when you say, what would you have done different? You should see them light up. I would have did this and I would have did that. But you've got the energy and the youth and the power to make those dreams a reality right now. Don't wait. Waiting is the most deadly, dreadful sin for your dreams. So I'm hoping you take my advice. I wish somebody told me earlier.
Yeah.
But now I know what I'm telling you. So there you go.
Well, so basically get started.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you're there, keep going.
Keep going,
and
man.
Know when to pivot and take control.
All those things. And one last thing I will say, outside of your family, because your family loves you. Never take advice from someone who's doing worse than you or not doing what you want to do or isn't living their dreams. Let it go in one ear and out the other. You didn't hear it. You didn't hear it. Just keep going. If no one believes in you, talk to the man or woman in the mirror and they'll believe in you. Tell them and they'll tell you right back, I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Believe in yourself. That's the first step to achieving any goal.
Love it. Are you sure you want to make movies? Have you thought of being a motivational speaker? Because I'm getting some of that vibe from you.
I don't know. I know Les Brown. Shout out to Les Brown, one of the best to ever do it. No Grant Cardone. Yeah. Shout out to him. But I can do a little something.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe in the future. We'll see. Yeah. Right now, there's just so much to do. And like I said, I measure time like Napoleon Hill down to the minutes, man. And even here, because despite having a full schedule, this was my most important thing of the day.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
and I'm not just saying that because I'm here.
Yeah. You're not just saying that because the cameras are rolling, are you?
Right.
Yeah, I still can't believe that you drive, what is it, every day?
Dude, you have no
Pennsylvania
I don't
to Maryland.
Even you have no idea how many
I don't
miles
understand why.
Car.
I don't get it.
I'd tell you that off camera.
Mr. On camera, off camera.
Yeah, I'm everywhere, man. We're licensed in 6 states: DC, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Georgia.
Nice. That's actually something we haven't gotten into. You have a
next podcast. We'll do real estate. Next podcast.
Maverick Realty CEO is a real estate brand.
Darlene's your CEO. You keep trying to get me in trouble. It's not me, Darlene. It's that guy.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
I really appreciate you being here and sharing from a lifetime of expertise, of passion, and everything that you've given is really a blessing. And I greatly appreciate it. So that's it, guys. Episode number 3 of the Level Up Project.
A lot more where that came from. Wait till next time when I get into the really good stuff.
Really good stuff.
I'm joking.